What are the pros and cons of living in Kitchener, Ontario? As this city of 250,000 people has many amazing things about it, but at the same time, there's things that are less amazing. So I thought in this video here, we would go through the different pros and cons that are associated with the parks, the real estate, the schools, the shopping, the healthcare, and more, so you know everything you need to know about Kitchener, Ontario before making the move here. And the very first thing you need to know about is where Kitchener is located, as Kitchener has the Grand River running on the east side and is bordered to Cambridge off to the south and Waterloo off to the north, and just a short drive away, about 35 minutes to Guelph, 1 hour to Hamilton, and 2 hours to Toronto. And one of the great things that Kitchener has to offer you is some amazing parks. As first, you'll find the Huron Park Natural Area, which is over 250 acres to explore, with 6 different main hiking trails, as well as a natural program located on the south side of Kitchener. Then you'll also find McLennan Park, that also offers ample amount of green space, some walking trails, as well as lots of fun activities, from a skate park, a bike park, as well as 2 full-size basketball courts, as well as a splash pad and jungle gym. Now, when you're living within this community here, you also need to go check out Rockway Gardens, which is a beautiful botanical garden you can walk through and enjoy many of the different flowers in a rainbow of colors, especially in the springtime. Then you'll also find the Odd Park and Sports Complex that has a variety of ice rinks, sports fields, as well as a great leash-free dog park to go and enjoy. And then right beside the downtown park of Kitchener, you'll find Victoria Park with a variety of walking trails alongside the lake, where you can eventually stumble upon a large jungle gym and splash pad. And this is also where you're going to see a lot of events that are hosted within Kitchener. Now, while it isn't a park, it definitely gets a special shout out, especially if you're watching this in the winter time, and that is Chicopee Ski and Snowboarding Hill, to go grab a few runs in after work if you enjoy skiing like myself. Now, it's not going to be anything like the Rocky Mountains out west, but it definitely allows you at least to get your fix in and enjoy that there. Then, of course, you'll find a variety of other outdoor rinks in the wintertime to enjoy. So if you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor. This is my channel where I share everything about what it's like living in Hamilton and the surrounding cities like Kitchener, Ontario. So if you're thinking about moving to Kitchener or one of the surrounding cities, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation call. We've recently had a bunch of people reach out looking to buy here, so we'd love to help you out as well. Now, one of the cons about living in Kitchener you need to be aware of is definitely the traffic, as overall Kitchener as a city is pretty car dependent, and that's because this is primarily when it was built in the 60s, 80s, and 90s, and therefore it's going to really rely on a car. With that said, there is some good public transit options if you're close to the downtown core, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But another transition period that might happen when you're living in Kitchener that's quite unique to Kitchener, and that is all the different roundabouts that are available here. As I find when I'm driving just going to see homes with clients in this area here, there's definitely an ample amount of roundabouts to enjoy. So if you're used to driving on a roundabout, that should be no issue. If you aren't, no worries. It just takes a couple practice tries, and then you'll probably get the hang of it quite quickly. But other than that the other thing that I don't really love about Kitchener is because when it was developed, there was no real grid system set up. So driving around without a GPS can definitely be confusing. Now, thankfully, we all have phones, we all have maps on our phones. So that's really what I rely on when I'm in this area here, because sometimes the streets can just lead you off into the wrong direction when you thought you're on the right street. Now, the other thing that you'll find as a disadvantage in Kitchener is that there's no direct access to the 401. So if you're thinking about commuting to Toronto or Hamilton on a regular basis, this is definitely going to be one of the downsides, as you are going to have to travel a little bit more along Highway 8 before you hit the highway. Now, this will add a little bit of extra time to commute. However, thankfully, Highway 8 currently runs pretty well, especially during rush hour traffic. It just tends to get backed up on the exits of Highway 8 in the city streets. Now, with that said, if we jump on here, I'll show you the 3 major bottlenecks you need to pay attention to when you're living in Kitchener. All right, so if we take a look here at Kitchener, it's really sandwiched in between Waterloo and Cambridge, kind of in that square right here. And a few traffic bottlenecks you're going to first notice is, of course, along the 401 as it's leaving or going through Cambridge more specifically to pop out to the Highway 8. Like, Highway 8 moves pretty well, like I said, but to get on Highway 8, you're definitely going to be noticing some bottlenecks on the border of Cambridge here. Then when you're inside Kitchener, there's a couple different traffic areas you need to be aware of. So First things first is probably the one of the mainer entrances or exits going off Highway 8, and that's right along the Seaview or CF Park View Mall right here along the shopping strip. This can definitely get backed up with a lot of traffic, especially during like those holiday seasons where the mall starts to get busy, as well as the surrounding plazas. So you should watch out for that there. The other area that's seen a lot of traffic recently because of a lot of the new homes that are being developed in the recent areas is really along this street right here. We're seeing it now. Thankfully, it is under construction. It is expanding a lot more. So you are now starting to see some of the traffic ease up here. But because this road originally was much smaller and served the demand of a lot less homes, because of all the new development, especially happening on this side right here, you're going to start seeing this back up. However, thankfully, it is now starting to be worked on, and it'll be done construction probably by the time you're looking to move here. But still, nothing to keep in mind if you are moving to Kitchener. And then, of course, the other area where you're going to see a decent amount of backup is in the downtown part of Kitchener right here. Because the roads are a bit thinner, there's also the biggest amount of population density within this area here. You're just going to find a lot of different congestion based on the traffic. Now, the good news is if you're just looking to get around downtown Kitchener, you do have like the LRT line we will chat about in just a moment, kind of cutting right throughout here. So it allows you, if you are living in that area, to commute around quite easily with avoiding that traffic. And then the last, I guess, bottleneck area I'll quickly mention here is just along Highway 7 if you are thinking about commuting out to Guelph. Again, because Kitchener is really seeing a lot of expansion, a lot of people are really commuting to Guelph to go to their job, you are going to see it get backed up, especially kind of just leaving Kitchener along Highway 7 right here. Those are the major bottlenecks you can expect when living in Kitchener. Then if you are thinking about utilizing the public transit, Kitchener is probably going to have the best amount of options to choose from out of all the 3 Tri-City cities. As first, you find the Grand River busing transit. Overall, you'll get decently around Kitchener. Now, of course, the closer you live to the downtown area of Kitchener, the better the options are available to you, but you can still get around a decent amount. Now, it's not going to be anything like Toronto. Buses here are going to come every 30 minutes. They're working to cut that time down to 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes in the future, but right now, I'd expect 30 to 40 minutes probably between buses if you miss one. But then the other thing is you will have the LRT line that extends from Conestoga Mall up in Waterloo all the way down to Fairview Park Mall in Kitchener with 15 stops in between. So it's very convenient if you're living around them or in the downtown area. There's also an expansion plan going on, probably that will end in somewhere in the 2030s, that will continue this LRT line down to Cambridge with an additional 8 stops as well. And then other than that, a few other public transit notes to mention is first, you have Kitchener Go as well, which has 2 trains every afternoon and every morning going down to Union Station, as well as a variety of different Go buses happening. Now I imagine as Kitchener continues to grow and we see more demand for the Go train to go down to Union Station, this amount of trains going down there will probably increase in the coming years. Then the last thing I'll mention is within Kitchener, on the east side, you'll find the regional Waterloo Airport that has flights going across Canada to Florida, Vegas, as well as the Dominican Republic and Cuba in the winter time. Then definitely another pro that happens to be associated with living in Kitchener is the great shopping opportunities it has. As first, you have the CF Fairview Park Mall, which is the largest mall in Kitchener with lots of stores to choose from Sports Check to Hudson's Bay to also a Walmart right beside it. But then also on the same road, you'll find many different shopping plazas to go and enjoy, whether that's the Best Buy, a Cineplex, a Canadian Tire, and countless more stores and restaurants. Then no matter what neighborhood you're going to be living within Kitchener, you're going to be just a short drive away from many different plazas that you'll be able to get your basic amenities down. Then, of course, if you're looking for those local gems, the best spot to find those local boutiques, those amazing restaurants is definitely downtown Kitchener. And that kind of brings me on to my next thing I would love to share with you guys, and that is the best restaurants I've tried when my time in Kitchener. As first, you have the Matter of Taste Coffee Roaster, which is great for a latte and even better to get some work done. But then you also can find a shawarma just across the street for an amazing shawarma wrap, or you can also go check out the Charcoal Steakhouse for an amazing steak dinner. And then, of course, if you're looking for your barbecue, you need to go check out the Lancaster Smokehouse for some delicious ribs or pulled pork. And then if you're looking for a baked good, would either highly recommend Nova Era Bakery with many different pastry options to choose from, or Dubronic's Donuts for some amazing donuts. And then also within the downtown area of Kitchener, you'll find the Kitchener Farmers Market that offers a great option to pick up some local fresh produce as well as support the local farms and other businesses that operate throughout here. Then when you're living in Kitchener, you'll need to go attend some of the amazing events and festivals that happen. Now, most notably, the best festival to go check out is the Oktoberfest celebration. And fun fact, this city here was originally settled by a bunch of Germans and was originally called Berlin. But after name change to Kitchener in 1916, it still holds a lot of its German ties. And this is a festival that runs every year between the twin cities of Kitchener and Waterloo for 9 days at the end of September, beginning of October. It offers a variety of contests and games to go in and partake in. Now, if you are going to go here, I would highly recommend going to the keg tapping part. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, another festival you'll enjoy will be the Christkindl Market that happens every December, and it's perfect to go grab a skate and then go shop for some Christmas presents along this market here. Then the last event I'll mention is the Kitchener Blues Fest, which offers free music to attend and watch some of the best blues musicians absolutely perform the night away. Now, one of the downsides about living in Kitchener is there's not really much nightlife to go out and enjoy. And that's because a lot of the nightlife that happens, especially with the university students, will be found out in Waterloo, and that's where you're gonna find the most active bars and clubs. However, within the downtown area of Kitchener, you're gonna find a few different bars and restaurants that do offer a great evening. It's not going to be like anything like Toronto or Hamilton though. However, with that said, you can still find some great afternoon activities to do with the kids. As first, you'll find Big Mint's Amusement Center, which is a huge water park with a variety of different slides for kids all ages, as well as a splash pad and a large wave pool. Then you'll also find the Dune Heritage Village, which is a 60 acres living history museum with actors who are dressed up to show what it was like living in the region in the year 1914. And one of the reasons why I find a lot of my clients are moving to this area here is also because of the amazing employment options that are available to Kitchener's residents, especially in the manufacturing, education, and tech field, as sometimes Kitchener-Waterloo is referred to as the Silicon Valley of Canada. And that's because you're going to find a variety of different large companies headquarters here, from Google to Sun Life Financial to BlackBerry. But also here you'll find a lot of great local startups just getting their start here. And then you'll find a lot of different opportunities as well in the education at schools of all levels. And that's why in 2021, on the census data for Canada, 3/4 of the populations worked locally within the Tri-Cities, whether that was Kitchener, Waterloo, or Cambridge. And because of all this, this makes Kitchener one of the strongest economies to move to within Canada. Then another advantage that comes with living in Kitchener is the great schooling options it has to offer you. As in total, you're gonna find 54 different elementary schools, some public and some Catholic, offering 2 different streams of both English and French. And then as well, you'll find 8 high schools located within Kitchener, including the Cameron Heights High School. Not only are they good for academic performance, but also for those extracurricular activities as well. And then perhaps most notably, right within Kitchener, you'll find Conestoga College, which is a great college for your kids to go and attend. Or just a short drive away in Waterloo, you'll find also Waterloo University as well as Laurier University, with a lot of great different programs that are world renowned. And one of the downsides that comes with having these great universities is you're also going to get a large student body population living in and around the universities and colleges here. And as a result, they're just looking to have fun, but they're going to be a bit rowdier, and the homes that they're going to be living in aren't going to be as upkept, which I know is a turn off for some of my clients that want to avoid these areas. But thankfully, Kitchener is quite large, so you have a lot of opportunities that are further out if you want to avoid those. And if you don't mind them, there's also great neighborhoods that you can also find to move in on. Then talking about real estate brings us on to the next pro about Kitchener, and that is the real estate opportunities it offers. As if we compare it to Waterloo, Cambridge, and Hamilton, it's about similar in price ranges. It's slightly more affordable than Guelph, however, a bit more expensive than Paris and Brantford over the last 10 years. Then if we were to zoom in on the Kitchener real estate, we would see that 61% of the real estate sales were detached homes selling anywhere between 700 to 900,000, typically built in the 70s and 80s, offering those back splits, side splits, and bungalows, as well as 3 to 4 beds and 2 to 3 baths. And here you're gonna find these throughout the entire Kitchener area. However, you'll also find some of those 80s homes with those larger lots and more luxurious finishes of those side splits and back splits fit within this range here. Then you will find a small selection of homes, especially on the south side of Kitchener, that sell between $1.25 to $2 million, which are all large, huge homes right beside the 401 and all built in the last 10 years. Then as for townhomes, this made up 25% of the real estate sales within Kitchener, and here we're selling anywhere between $500,000 to $800,000, typically built in a variety of different time periods depending on what cluster you're looking at. However, they usually started building around 1970 up until today, and as a result have a variety of different styles for you to choose from. Some 2-story, some 3-story styles that usually offer 2 to 3 beds and 2 to 3 baths. Usually the majority of them here will be located on the west side of Kitchener. And then as for condos, this made up 14% of the real estate sold, typically selling anywhere from $400,000 to $550,000, with the highest density of condos to choose from in the downtown part of Kitchener. However, you can find a few other buildings scattered throughout the entirety of Kitchener, usually offering 1 to 2 beds and 1 to 2 bathrooms. Now, you can expect a lot more construction to happen in the downtown Kitchener area, with a lot more condo buildings to come up. So if you are interested in relocating to Kitchener, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation consult call. Other than that, the next advantage about living in Kitchener is the great healthcare it has to offer you, as here you're going to be finding the Grand River Hospital, which is the main hospital that serves the Kitchener-Waterloo area and offers a variety of different grade A services available to use, but you'll also find a variety of smaller clinics and walk-ins throughout Kitchener. Now, another big pro I know a lot of my clients absolutely love about Kitchener is the safety it offers, because Kitchener-Waterloo is widely regarded as a very safe region and was even rated 10th on the crime index for all of Canada. This is a great opportunity for you to move in with your family. Now, one of the disadvantages about living in Kitchener is that it is also part of Canada, and therefore you are going to have a winter, and this winter here is going to be a bit harsher when you compare it to the GTA cities of Burlington or Hamilton, and that's because it's not benefiting from the lake effect. As a result, it is going to be a degree or two colder in the winter time as well as in the summertime, but you're also going to get more snowfall as well throughout. As unlike the cities of Burlington and Hamilton, here what you're going to be finding is it's not going to get as much snow and rainfall. However, what you can expect is it to be a few degrees colder year around. Now, regardless of what city you choose in Canada, you're always going to have that Canadian winter. Now, one of the other disadvantages that is slightly different about Kitchener compared to Burlington and Hamilton as well, as Kitchener tends to be more on groundwater. This just means it is usually a harder water. Now, this is an easy fix, as a lot of homes you're going to buy are able to softening the water. However, if you don't have that there, you will notice some hardness in the water. Then another thing that will be more noticeable in the downtown part of Kitchener that is a downside really with all the major cities within Canada now is the homeless population continues to rise as the more cost of living continues to rise with it as well. So in the downtown part of Kitchener, it's just something you will notice. However, there are many different neighborhoods located throughout Kitchener where you won't even notice this when you live there. Then the final thing I'll mention about living in Kitchener is the amazing golfing opportunities it has to offer you, as here you'll find Rockaway Golf Course, Dune Valley Golf Course, as well as the Deer Ridge Golf Club. So if you are interested in thinking about Kitchener might be right for you, but want something a little bit closer to Hamilton and Toronto to ease that commute, the next video I recommend you go check out is the city just south of Kitchener, which is my video going over the pros and cons of Cambridge. So you can find that video right here. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.